I already know who Kyle's going to pick because he doesn't bet against him.
Well, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I've been talking about it all season. And Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the league. And at home in Arrowhead Stadium, I mean, come on, boys. With that being said, I have Lamar Jackson on my team, so Ravens.
Yeah.
On my fantasy team. Let's go.
Oh, no.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna
Yes,
pick
sir.
Ravens. I'm just gonna pick their points though. I'm gonna stay safer than you guys. I'm gonna take the points at least. And welcome back to another episode of your favorite Couch Potatoes. I am your host, Jay Cubs, always joined with my co-host, Feisty and Big Country. And boys, we can really say it now. Football is officially really back, baby. It's back. We just had our full slate of college football games this weekend, and Kansas City and Baltimore kick off this Thursday. We'll drop the episode right before... I'm so excited, but let's get into some basketball because we actually have some news. All right, so we'll start out with that, and then we'll get into football. But we'll start out with the banger. Steph Curry, 1 year, $62.5 million extension with the Warriors. I mean, sounds like we should
that's pretty
start
insane.
playing Steph Curry basketball if we want to make some good money.
Yeah, like we could all go and do that.
Yeah.
Are we all going to go revolutionize the game with the 3-pointers? Or
I was gonna say, I think he's like there's only 3 players that have hit $5 million like contract like earnings from contracts. I think it's LeBron, KD, and then him.
500 million?
Yeah, sorry, 500 million. 500
Sorry,
million.
Feist, just had to fact check you there.
Anyway,
I think he meant like 5 million. What does he make? 5 million per game or something like that? With that?
probably something per second, probably.
Right.
But that's like cool because like KD, LeBron are elite, and now Steph has joined that elite group. So,
well, LeBron wasn't going to be in this podcast, but I thank you for again, finding a way to put him in.
You know me.
But hey, I don't know if he's going to ever team up with Daddy Braun now. It's looking like they're locking him down. Or do you think after that 27 season, Braun's still playing and they can find a way to play together?
That's a little like more of a fantasy world for me, but
probably not.
Yeah,
well, let's go into some more deals. Another one, a big piece of the Pacers bench and rotation, TJ McConnell signs a 4-year, $45 million deal, which is just crazy in comparison. He just signed a 4-year deal worth a total of $45 million, almost $20 million less than Steph Curry's 1 year. But it's a good contract for him and, good piece for the Pacers. I know that they're big fans of him in Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, 20 million less than Steph Curry. That's insane for 4 years too,
right?
Which means that Steph Curry makes more in 1 year than he does in 4, that's pretty insane. Plus, you got all of Curry's like fucking sponsorships and stuff off of that too. Yeah,
but TJ McConnell is like barely coming up though. I like him. He's a good point guard. He, like I said, he works really well with or not like I said, but like he works really well with Halliburton. I know you always correct me wrong. Correct me. Go ahead.
That was good.
Yes.
You got it.
Yes. But so I like this. I like this extension. I think that just like I'm always a firm believer of keeping your core together. So especially a young core. So I love that. Good for the Pacers.
Brings the energy. He's always there on defense. So he's definitely a good change of pace if they ever need it. And then moving on to the Clippers, big boy Zubac is staying put with a 3-year, $58.6 million deal. So I always he's a like I don't know. He's kind of like Valanciunas. He reminds me of just a reliable. He's not like the top center in the league, but you would always want him on your team. If you got him, he's going to definitely give you 10 and 10 almost every game, if not more. He has the ability to, go off for 25 or something. So good deal for the Clippers there.
Yeah, I mean, what are the Clippers? The Clippers, man. That's the team that I used to be the fan of before. When the Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan era,
The Knob City.
the Lob City era. Yeah, but I think it's a good signing for the Clippers. It's definitely a good guy to keep around.
I actually don't like Zubac.
Yeah.
Can I be devil's advocate a little bit?
What's wrong with Zubac?
I just pisses me off. That's what. He's just one of those players that just pisses me off. But good for him. And now that Brody's not on the team anymore, I don't care. F the
Clippers are done
Clippers.
anyways.
I hated them when Paul George did that whole thing with Kawhi, and now I hate him even more because Westbrook's not on him. So, but good for Zubac.
Good for him. Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
All right, well let's talk about someone we definitely all are a fan of. Caitlin Clark continues to make history, becomes the first player with 30 points, 12 assists, and 5 3-pointers made in WNBA history. Now, I do feel like that's one of those like random ass stats like that people just create, but it's still an impressive stat line, and she continues to just ball the hell out. So it's pretty exciting to watch. I know we're getting into the meat of the WNBA season, so I'm excited to see what she does to finish it out.
Yeah, I mean, Caitlin Clark has, how many records has she already broken her first year in WNBA? You know what I mean? Like and she's playing insane. Yeah, like you said, this is a weird stat line to be, talking about, but just, she's still out here breaking records. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that we've all mentioned how much she means to the sport and how much change that her and Reese have brought to the game, and so it's just the start of it. I think I saw things say that they've won 14 games this year, right? That's like I don't remember if it was like 3 times what they won last year or something like
Yeah.
that. And so I'm like, the girl's balling out and she's showing it. She's breaking records and she's just doing it like it's nothing. And now players are actually starting to respect her because I know that was a big thing where players are just like egging her on and like just hard fouls on her. Now players are like, okay, she actually is doing something good for our league, and let's continue doing it. So I like it. I think that she's going to continue to break more records, and she's going to continue to ball out.
Hell yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it. I couldn't wait long enough, but I wanted to start out with one of my favorite voices in college football, Joel Klatt. So he came out with the top 5 quarterback list. Now, Vice and Wesley haven't seen this yet, so I'm excited to see what you guys think. So, number 1, Carson Beck, quarterback for Georgia. Number 2, Shedeur Sanders from Colorado. Number 3, Cam Rising, Utah. I knew it. Number 4, Quentin Ewers, Texas. And number 5, Dylan Gabriel from Oregon. So I like it. I think it's a pretty good list.
5?
This is why I wanted to bring it up. Go ahead, Vice.
Oh my gosh. Cam Rising over freaking Dylan Gabriel?
Well, we'll get into it. Dude balled out, but
Dylan Gabriel. Cam Rising over Dylan Gabriel is an insane thing.
What would you would you redo that list? How are you going to rank it?
I'd probably say I'd probably keep Carson Peck at number 1.
Beck.
Shedeur, whatever. I don't give a crap. Right now, I'm only worried about the list. Okay.
Okay.
Shedeur Sanders at 2. I put Dylan at 3.
Mm-hmm.
Ewers at 4.
Ooh. Somebody else at 5. You're going to bump. You don't even want to put Cam in the top 5.
I don't think he's a top 5 player.
Dude, he's 7. He's the most longest tenured college player of all time, pretty much. He's been there for 7 years. He's got plenty of experience.
Carson Beck is up there too, no?
I don't think he's had 7 years, but I did see there's one
for a long time.
I think there's one tight end that's in his 9th college football season.
He plays for like Miami or something, or like some East Coast team.
I think that's one of my honorable mentions is the quarterback in Miami. I mean, When we watched Cam Rising play, I mean, you were at the game, Kyle, but I watched it at home. Watching Cam Rising play, the game just seemed so easy for him. Granted, they were playing
the
Southern
Birds.
Youth.
The
They were playing
Thunderbirds,
Southern Youth.
SUU.
They were playing Southern Utah
The
University.
Birds couldn't
So, I
even
mean, that's
fly.
like.
All right. So that's a great way to get into it. So let's talk about it. Utah played their first game this past Thursday, and like you said, I was in attendance. Super excited to get back. And yeah, Cam Rising. I'll just say it: 10 for 15 for 254 yards and 5 touchdowns. So he had as many touchdowns as incompletions. All right, and like Wesley said, he just looks smooth out there. It's a great game to get back into it after a year-long injury. I think I know it's not going to be that easy going forward, but he looked good and he made the right throws. He looked calm. He looked comfortable, and then a couple more impressive. So Brant Keithy, again, another guy that was out our tight end. He had 4 receptions for 69 yards. Nice. And 3 touchdowns. So he balled out. And then our running back, Dejon Stanley, 3 receptions, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So offense was definitely clicking. And yeah, Cam Rising, I think you might be underestimating him a little bit because he does get that experience. He was a back-to-back Pac-12 championship winner. I know he killed your Oregon Ducks a few years ago, so don't forget that. And then beat Caleb Williams in the Trojans. But I think it's just been a long
Wait,
time
you said
without
a
him.
few years ago?
Mm-hmm.
What happened last year?
He wasn't playing.
Cam Rising wasn't playing last year. You can't talk about last
We
year.
didn't have anybody on offense last year, bud.
Didn't you guys have like a linebacker running the football last year at some point?
Oh, Vaki?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. So many
We
running
had
backs got
him.
hurt.
That was our only offense last year. But yeah,
Sounds
very
like a
impressive.
staffing issue.
Very impressive from the Utes and Cam Rising overall. And then we were killing them so bad that we just decided to give Cam Rising like the second half off. And we got to see true freshman Isaac Wilson, our backup out there. And it was pretty interesting. It was up and down. I would say for him, he had 1 touchdown on 7 for 11 passing for 74 yards. And then he also did throw 2 picks. I'd say a lot of things looked very predetermined. Like he was in a very specific system, but he also contributed on the ground. He looked pretty good there, but yeah, just definitely getting his feet wet. So I wouldn't say it was bad. It wasn't great. I think it was a good little debut we got to see from him.
Yeah, I mean Isaac Wilson. Obviously, he broke records in Utah for playing when he played at Corner Canyon, and then older brother Zach Wilson, who's in the NFL. Granted, he hasn't had the best NFL career, but
And he's
still being on an NFL roster is insane.
Number 2 overall pick. So
yeah. Isaac Wilson. He looked decent for a freshman. You know what I mean? Like you said, the offense was very dumbed down. And I think Coach Whittingham even said during an interview with ESPN said that he wouldn't have been named the backup quarterback if Isaac Wilson didn't come in spring training. So, I mean, just to see that improvement through the spring training in the summer to become the backup quarterback for the Utes, I mean, that's he's got to be good somewhere.
Yeah.
No, for sure. And like I liked what I saw from him. Besides the 2 picks, I think he has what it takes to be a starter on that team, and obviously take over next year. And like even though I'm giving you shit, I thought that was a good game by Utes. They executed. Everybody knew the birds couldn't fly and that they were gonna get killed. So, and the Utes executed that. I love that. Cam Rising was able to get his, even though it's like it doesn't seem super impressive with the yards. But 5 TDs and only having 5 incomplete passes is insane. So I like it. I know I'm giving him a hard time, but it's just I think Dylan Gabriel is better, but this was just a good game overall for them, and I think especially that running back Dejon Stanley,
Mm-hmm.
he's got some some feet, man. He's got some
fast.
legs.
He's
So
fast. Two wheel routes, dude. It was they hit both his touchdowns were on the same play. I think one was like a 68-yard touchdown, one was a 79-yard touchdown,
Literally
and
the
he just
same exact play.
wide open too.
Might want to look at that wheel route. I know you're just the Thunderbirds, but the Birds, like you said, weren't flying in the secondary. So, but I'm excited. I think we got Baylor coming up this week, so it's definitely going to be much more difficult test. But I feel like we're going to be prepared going in.
Well, and it's always nice to get the first. I feel like every team, right, in college always gets their first game against a like chump team, basically. And it's just to get their feet wet, basically, and get everybody on the same page, and making sure everything is working. And then it kind of like after that, it's like when the actual test comes in play. So we'll have to see how they do against Baylor. But I'm excited for you guys. I think that was a really good game. You knew what the plan was, everybody executed, and you blew them out. So nothing.
Yes, sir. And it pitched a shutout. Got to give love to the defense. Defense was balling out too. They were suffocating. They really couldn't get much going. So it was exciting to see that from the defense too. Always going to be a good defensive team with Kyle Whittingham and Morgan Scalley. So,
well, hey, why don't we get to the better Utah team?
Wait a minute.
No, so BYU played Southern Illinois this weekend. Basically the same level of school of SUU. So, final score was BYU 41, Southern Illinois 13. I really think that BYU played behind their strengths, just like Coach Sataki wanted to do this season. Really came out and established the running game with his two running backs, because there is question at quarterback, even though the quarterback looked pretty good.
He celebrated after every completion. He's like, I'm like, bro, it was the first down for 12 yards. Like, come down, okay. But no, he did. He was making really good throws, making good decisions. They looked really dominant. I feel like your offensive line looked really good. I don't know if it was just the competition or anything, but they looked just on another level.
Well, yeah, and like I said, Sataki wants to play to their strength this year, and that'd be the running game. That offensive line did look pretty good, right? But like you said, it is against Southern Illinois. We got SMU this week, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know. The offense didn't look very smooth in that first quarter. I think they were really clunky. They went for it on 2 4th downs that first drive, so it just need to get the repetition in a little bit more, I think, and actually like really learn what their personality is going to be on offense. The defense looked pretty good. The problem is that the defense was the worst in the Big 12 last year, and they have all the same returning starters. So I don't know how much that's going to change. But speaking of the defensive side of the ball, I thought this was really cool. The BYU defensive coordinator was discharged from the hospital 2 days after suffering a heart attack. So he came home from practice on Wednesday, not feeling well, had the heart attack on Thursday, had a surgery on Friday, and then was at the game on Saturday. Obviously not in full participation. Coach Sataki had full reign of the defense basically, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool to see him at the game after suffering something so major.
Shout out to the I'm in healthcare, but shout out to the people that took care of him. That's awesome that he was able to come back that quick. I know that they're getting really better about heart attacks and strokes and stuff in the healthcare world. So I just want to give a quick shout out to that. Those healthcare people that kind of take care of him. That's awesome. That's a quick turnaround.
And super quick.
BYU, dude. Like, this might be the year where they actually start to do something and then just start to slip up a little bit.
Remember, when we were looking at the schedule, it's going to probably look like a really nice 3-0, and they're going to look really good, and then things are going to get a lot tougher. But maybe that'll be good for him, build some momentum and get kind of prepared for that tough stretch. But, yeah, that is awesome for him. I mean, I'm glad obviously glad he's okay, and what a dog for, getting back and being at the game. And Wes, you were saying he wasn't like calling the plays, but he was kind of advising and he was participating in the game and stuff, which is still insane to do 2 days after you just had a heart attack.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. I mean, it's just insane for him to make that turnaround. You know what I mean? That's, yeah, and obviously it gave the players a lot of motivation. I mean, they were playing Southern Illinois, but you know that's still big to see your defensive coach out there after suffering something like that. Now you know how much he's dedicated to this program.
Yeah, awesome to see. Well, let's get into another game. So this was kind of like the highlight of Thursday night was Colorado versus North Dakota State. Yeah, that's right, North Dakota State. I think they're like a Division II. What was it, FBS or FCS team or something like that.
I think it's FBS. Yeah.
Pacific
Yeah,
something or
they're not a D1 program like Colorado. And I think we're back in the Colorado train. I know we kind of talked about. I know you're thinking that they're going to be better this year, Feist, but not a great start. I would say they did end up winning 31-26, but it came right down to the wire. But Shador did ball out, 445 yards and 4 touchdowns. And of course, his running mate Travis Hunter, 132 yards in his first career 3 receiving touchdown game.
Did you see that catch he made? Holy
Oh
shit.
my gosh!
Holy
In the
shit.
corner of the end zone there.
Yeah.
That was tough. That was
Literally caught it
definitely tough.
behind the dude's back.
Nuts. I think that so I think they're going to do that like they did last year. I think the question is on their, the defense again. And just, are they going to have to play this kind of, is Shador going to have to put up these numbers? Like, that's the thing with, like, Feist, you were saying about Cam Rising's, like, yards weren't very impressive. But the thing is, he's going down and scoring on almost every drive, and then they run in the ball and stuff. So he doesn't, have to throw for that many yards, where Shador's got to keep going because of that defense and stuff. So I think we're back in the same cycle. Colorado looking super hype after they barely beat a mid team, and then we'll see kind of how they get into like the Big 12 when they get into the meat of their season.
See, but I knew that this was going to be a tough game. North Dakota State's a really good D2 school. I mean, they joined, I'm thinking they're in the FBS if I'm not mistaken, but they joined back in 2004 and have won 9 championships since they've joined.
Wow.
So they are a really good program. And so it's, and then I knew that Colorado was going to have a hard time. It wasn't just going to be a rollover game like an SUU or a Southern Illinois. You know what I mean? And definitely a good test for them after they've had so many portal transfers and stuff like that. But I think you're right, Kyle. I think it's just going to be the same thing again this year. They're going to get overhyped and then be middle of the pack in the Big 12.
Hey, that'd be an improvement for them though. Again, so
yeah,
they won like 4 games, so if they keep going on the right track. But yeah,
I think that you did hit a big point though, Jacobs, is that you said that their defense going to be able to stop anybody and be able to keep up, and that was, I think, what was their weakness in that game. Shador was doing his thing, Travis Hunter was doing his thing, even their running back was playing really well, or whatever. It's just their offense is set. I think we know that they can do what they know what to do, but it's that defense. They've had a lot of people transfer out at the beginning of the off season and stuff, and so and I think a lot of people are still scared to come play for Sanders, and the way he does things at Colorado is different from most coaches, and so and I think they just command a different respect. I think that he wants to put that program in on the map and want people to know about it. But it's hard when your defense is allowing a D2 school 26 points and you barely win. So I do agree with you guys. I think that they're probably going to struggle a little bit, but I still believe that they're gonna be way better than they were last season, and that they're actually going to be able to get into, I don't know, one of those dumb bowl games and be able to get some kind of like money for competing in, and hopefully that they win. It'll kind of help them get some more scholarships because they need help on the defense for sure.
You know what's
yeah,
insane? Remember us watching? So last when we watched the BYU game, there was a guy. I think it was their left tackle in Southern Illinois. He
Oh
was
yeah.
he was a fucking portal transfer from Colorado.
Yep.
Imagine transferring from Colorado, a Pac-12/Big 12 school, down
Down to
to
Southern
Southern
Illinois.
Illinois.
It's
All
tough.
because of Coach Sanders.
Yep.
Well, and I think Feist, you hit it to a good point where they're on the map. That's one thing is like everybody's going to talk about Colorado because of Dion and because of Shador and Travis and everything. That offense going to be crazy. And that's another thing, though. I think both Travis and Shador they're gone. They're going to go to the draft. I think next year. So that offense is definitely going to look different. I think Coach Prime has already said he's committed to Colorado. He's not going to follow his son anymore or anything like that. But
When has he said that and worked
I'm
out?
pretty sure he said that at some
No, no,
point.
no. I'm just saying it. Like, there's no way
Oh,
he just doesn't go
you
to
don't
the
think so?
NFL. Oh no, he's BSing for sure.
Well, we'll have to see. Well, then Colorado's back off the map, and,
Yep.
and then all
And
those transfers can come back, maybe. But let's get into some more news. We're gonna leave. Feist, we don't really need to talk about Oregon, so we're just gonna leave that to the end if we have time. No, I'm just kidding. I just wanted to run through some scores. So we had kind of surprising, kind of not. Clemson just put the, or sorry, Georgia just put the beat down on Clemson. Georgia ranked number 1, Clemson 14. So coming in with some, high respect this year, but 34-3. Ouch, Dabo, not your best performance. But it is Georgia. So you guys surprised on that at all?
No, not at all. I mean, Georgia's Georgia, man. I mean, I think that they start. I mean, I know Bama beat them last year, but I think Georgia's been a better program than Bama for the last 3-4 years now.
Yep.
They're pretty dominant, and I mean, every year we get the comparison of Georgia can play an NFL team.
yep.
So
Yeah, right. Let's put Georgia and the Panthers up against each other. Let's see what
yeah.
happens. Or the Patriots.
Or the Patriots.
Yeah, that's even better, right?
I mean, the thing though to like give Clemson a little bit of praise is that they held them to 6 points. I think it was like second quarter until they kind of popped off. So props to them for holding up to 6 points. But then after that, Georgia said, "All right, we're done playing with these little boys," and they
It's
ended
like
up having a
that
beat
meme
down.
where you're like sitting back playing a football game, and then it's all right, time to lock in.
Yep,
And
that's
that's
exactly what
exactly what they
happened.
did. Few other games, and Ohio State killed Akron 52-6. I mean, it's like you said, Feist, that week one thing where there's some like teams that actually have some good games, but a lot of, I think there was like a record SEC. I can't remember if it was like 6 or 7 teams that beat their opponent by 50 or 60 points.
Yeah,
Like Ole Miss 76-0 against Furman. Michigan was kind of close, 30-10 on Fresno State. They didn't run away with that game. Just looking through, I think Miami, your favorite Mario Cristobal, upset Florida. Well, I don't know if it was an upset because they're ranked 19, but they beat Florida 41-17.
yeah, that was insane.
So kind of some surprising scores there. And then another one that was kind of big hype. I know we talk about Pat McAfee a lot. He was waiting for his West Virginia Mountaineers, who are supposedly going to win the Big 12 and run away with it. Got their asses beat by Penn State. 34-12 wasn't even close. So, and then I think the game of the night was Notre Dame and Texas A&M. And we were watching that game at the same time as the BYU game last night, and it was deadlocked pretty much the whole game. I think it was 6-6 forever. Then it was 13-13 for a while. But Notre Dame ends up coming out with the win, gets a late touchdown, and then stops them on a fourth down to basically ice the game, and ends up beating Texas A&M 23-13. Oh, Mike is muted.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey, at least you're not the only one that does it, right?
right, there we go. Got someone else.
But no, that was definitely a damn good game last night. That was a very defensive battle there. Like you said, it was 6-6 for like the first and second quarter, and then coming into the end of the second, start of the third, it was 13-13. And then at the end of the day, I mean, in Texas A&M is not an easy place to play, and
Yeah,
Notre Dame came in and
Stadium volume at max.
Yeah, aren't they? They're ranked pretty high
Number
up there.
one.
And
They're
are
number
they
one.
one?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I told Wesley that last night. That stadium is insane. The way they have it built, and it's just massive. But sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I mean, Notre Dame came in, and their coach even said we basically just need to escape here with a win, week one. Didn't matter how big the score was, how close the score was. He just needed to escape with a win, and that's what they did. They came in, and that Notre Dame's running back looked really damn good. I can tell you that.
That one run for the touchdown where he snuck through there was not a hole there. Like he created it.
Squeezed through that.
Yeah, and his feet to stay there, and then boom, like the announcer said, once he planted, he was gone.
Yeah,
Nobody was getting him.
Basically high stepping all of the offensive lineman's leg and stuff,
and
like
defensive line. Like he just
yeah. No, but yeah, I thought that maybe A&M had a chance there at the end, but I think Notre Dame stopped him on a 4th and 2 on like the 50-yard line. By like an inch, I believe, or something like that.
It was
really
like
close.
it was like the Malcolm Butler play. That's what I said from the Super Bowl, where they tried to kind of run a little rub and pick and just throw a little slant, and the corner read it, just immediately went for the ball, just like Butler did, and broke it up and stopped him. So, Vice, I think you were watching a different game during this time.
I was watching a different game, but I wanted to quickly mention the Ohio State game. They've been on the headlines. I don't know if you guys saw, boys. There was the whole forgot who made the comment. Nick Saban made the comment about the roster being worth 20 mil.
Oh yeah, was that who he was talking about?
Yes, he's talking about Ohio State. He's taking shots at them, and I was
Pat gave him shit. He's like, that's what you did for so long, or something like that.
But it's different because Ohio State literally went through the transfer portal and just paid every single person that they could. And I get it because they're going for the championship this year. It's all in for Day because he's lost to Michigan like 3 years in a row. Like he's got to make something happen, and then he was able to get approved $20 million for just incentives and NIL deals, or as I say it, HNIL deals. So
that's the problem, though, man. That shit needs to stop, or else
$20 million, dude. His roster is $20 million. That's insane.
It's just gonna turn into
exactly. Anyways, so before we get into that again,
you're already getting into that Big Ten rivalry, dude. I could feel it,
dude. It's just Ohio State pisses me off because they're Ohio State.
Like a lot of people are saying, like, this is the year, like Ryan Day's on the hot seat.
Yep.
And this is the best team they had and stuff like that. Kirk Herbstreit came out and he's like, I don't know about that. Like at one time you had Marvin Harrison, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. And a couple other receivers that are Chris Olave, I think, CJ Stroud, Justin Fields. Like, we don't really know. I mean, I did beat Ohio State as Utah in the national championship. Shut them down. So let's go. And they were just like, they would only run the ball. That's all they would do. So it was kind of an easy game for somehow. Like I had a much harder time against Oregon to make it to the championship. And then like BYU freaking put 59 on my head, but I put 61 on their head. So, but anyways, I think that it's Ohio State is definitely going for it. They have to, and Brian Day has to, because like you said, he's won like every game. I think his record, whatever, and 3 or something, and 4, or like how many losses he has in his career, but they've been to Michigan, which is the most important game, for them in the year, and no national championships where they have that standard. They're up there, with Alabama, with Georgia and stuff. So it's definitely got to be their year.
And this is the year where they just get stopped again shortly, because not only do they have to play Michigan, but they also play Oregon. So it's going to be insane. I mean,
Penn State looking good this year too.
Penn State as well, yeah. So I think that the people are just forgetting a little bit of what they have in their path. But let's talk about the Oregon game, boys. That was oh my gosh. I don't
playing how we were all playing an easy opponent and should have all blown them out, right? Is that what happened with Oregon, or
it was 24-14. at one point it was 14-17. I think until like the third quarter,
And
it was like
against who?
14 against Idaho, the Potato Land.
I say again, who?
Idaho.
Anyways,
Yes. No, it was insane. I think I do have a little couple things that I want to mention. Okay, so Dylan Gabriel threw really well. He
Did
had
he?
380 yards, 41 49, and then he also had two TDs. Jordan
wow.
James
He threw the
had
ball like 30 more times than Cam Rising and still couldn't get even close to his amount of TDs.
Jordan James. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna fall for it.
Sounds like the fifth best quarterback in the nation to
I'm
me.
not gonna get into it. Jordan James had 95 yards rushing yards. Tess Johnson, our standout wide receiver, had 12 receptions for 81 yards. And then the most disappointing player was Event Stewart. He only had 3 reception yards for 15 yards, and he was like super highly like he was in the transfer portal, and everybody was going after him. He's
Oh,
supposed to be a
wow.
top
Oregon just buying all these players through the
top
transfer
five.
portal. Wow.
Top five. It's different when it's Oregon, okay? It's
Oh,
just
okay.
Nike.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
just
right.
Nike, okay? Ohio State
That Big
literally for
Ten money.
20.
Oh, okay.
It's Nike, it's not us.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Anyways, he had a disappointing debut. I was expecting to have a little bit more to Ferguson had way more receiving yards. I think he was our second with like 70 yards. Holden also had more receiving yards. I just don't know what happened because he's a big wide receiver and he's supposed to be our number two guy or even our number one guy. Like I said, he's a top five receiver in college for this year's draft. So I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if they weren't clicking. This is a new offense, new quarterback. It's different because Bo's not there, but it's the same kind of like player. Dylan Gabriel's been around long enough to understand the game, but I think they just struggled a little bit. They didn't have that much of a hurry up offense that they normally do. And our defense looked solid, but it was just like our secondary was struggling a little bit.
Oh,
So
really?
I don't know what happened. I think it's just first game jitters. Their new conference. Maybe they're worried about those big schools and that these small school kind of took a little bigger hit on them. But I was kind of disappointed because we were supposed to bowl them out by like 40 points.
You're the only team here of anybody on the couch potatoes that didn't have a blowout. So
Hey,
no,
10
that's
points is a blowout.
that's surprising, and again, like that's the thing. Cam Rising only threw the ball 15 times, right, and 49 attempts against Idaho is kind of surprising. Like that's showing that they had to keep playing, had to keep going and stuff, and so I mean we could just be overreacting to it. At the same time, like a lot of times these things happen in
Yeah.
college football, where like you said, a lot of times you might overlook or you might just not quite be prepared for your opponent, and you get that kind of, even though it's a win, you get that like shit game out of the way. I bet you gosh, why am I forgetting your coach's name right now?
Oh, Dan.
Dan
Now I'm forgetting.
Lanning.
Dan Lanning. Yeah. Sorry.
I bet you he ripped the boys after this game, and I could definitely see a good bounce back coming for week 2 for Oregon.
And we play Boise State, so hopefully.
Ooh, another Idaho team. Oh no.
Hopefully they didn't share the secret with them. I think our
I
big.
think they're better too.
Yeah, Boise
They
State is
definitely are.
better.
Definitely are. No, I mean,
Oh, never mind. I take it back.
how far do you think that they drop Oregon in the standings just because this game was so close?
Ooh, I
No,
wonder because
I
what do we
don't think.
got?
I don't think that they drop them. I think
I
first
don't know.
week is always.
Texas beat Colorado State 52-0. You might get Texas above them. Bama
If maybe, yeah,
63.
maybe one spot, maybe if anything,
Ole
like.
Miss 76
But
to
I don't
0.
think rankings
I don't
even
know.
matter this year with the 12-team format. Like it's just
It still does, kind
They
of.
matter, but you got to
kind
win
of.
because like in your conference, it definitely matters because like
You're a big
It's just
four.
if a Big Ten school, you're going to have all these teams, and I know only one of them is going to get that bye, but then you
right.
want to be ranked high to get into the thing.
But I was just saying, like, I guess let me correct myself. I just mean as in you don't have to fight for. There's not only
the
4
top
teams that make
four.
it.
That's what.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So it's more you're more open. Obviously, I would like Oregon to stay at 3, the top 4. Maybe they do drop them in like one spot and make them the 4th. But at the same time, I just think everybody's just getting the first week jitters, and everybody just kind of gets that grace, unless you get beat and it's an upset, obviously. But I'd be very surprised if they drop more than one spot, even.
Yeah, it probably won't drop too far, but I probably could see him lose 1, maybe 2, depending on how they view Texas and Bama. I don't think they'd go down past Ole Miss. But before we get done with college football, move on to the professional side. I know we all saw this, but we had to talk about it. Robert Morris, secondary player. I can't even remember his name. I'm so sorry, but exactly. That was, God, he already had the play of the season. I know football surprised us, and there probably will be another play, but that was insane. I mean, a full 180, one-handed, behind the back, at the height of his jump, picks off our old pig farmer, Bryson Barnes from Utah State, which I can't imagine being Bryson. Like, you fucking kidding me? Like, he caught that and goes down as an interception on his stats. But, yeah, hell of a freaking play. I'd definitely say if it's not going to be the play of the season, it'll be top 5 already. That was insane.
Well, there was another catch too. I mean, this one was insane. I think it was definitely the best catch of the weekend. There was a different catch. I can't remember who it was.
Travis Hunter's was pretty good.
No, yeah, his was pretty good. There was another one too that was almost like George. Everybody's calling it like Odell-esque, but the way that I looked at it was almost George Pickens-esque when he played Cleveland.
Homer.
There was like just the bend of the back.
Oh yeah, I remember. I do remember that catch.
I mean? As my headset falls off.
Oh, he's getting into it.
I know, man. It was almost that same type of catch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but this catch was definitely the highlight of the weekend. I feel like.
Hey, it's football, man. College football brings a different kind of atmosphere. You love to see the different plays that happen. They always come up with different trick plays on the offense, but this is probably one like top 3 favorite catches of all time. Like, it was just nuts to see the way he was able to maneuver his body like that to just even, and then the way he got up afterwards, he just was like,
another day at the office.
Just here, 9 to 5.
What's the big deal, guys?
Yeah, that's literally that same reaction. So I'm excited for college football, man. This is gonna be a great season. There's gonna be way more competitive, and I'm excited to see more plays like that because college football does bring that side out. So
let's go, baby. Let's go. We're back.
Now, transitioning to a guy that can make those catches like on a regular basis. Let's talk about CD Lamb, boys.
Let's do it.
It's official. No more rumors. No more. He might be doing it. Yeah, officially.
Oh, okay.
Official.
So it is officially
pen to paper.
Official.
Pen to the paper, baby. Let me sign it for him. CD Lamb signs a 4-year extension worth $136 million with the Cowboys, and makes him the second highest non-QB paid in NFL history.
Jerry Jones paid somebody, huh?
Jerry Jones was like, "Ooh, this is not looking good for me. They got plans in motion." Ooh.
He heard you.
And he heard us.
He heard you, and he decided to do it. Hell yeah, dude. Good for you guys.
We're excited. I think this was overdue. Now he needs to do the same thing with Micah. But this is just the first start.
And bye-bye Dak.
And bye-bye Dak.
Ooh. Dude, this was awesome. And this came the day after our fantasy draft too. And I feel like now I definitely got the steal of the draft because I got him. He fell down to 7 in our league, and he ended up being my first pick after being. I think he was like ranked 2nd in the draft. But I don't know if everybody was worried about that. But hell yeah, baby, I got CD Lamb now. I'm excited for that. I do know that. What I'm not excited for is that head coach Mike McCarthy. He said that the Cowboys will be smart with ramping him up. So we might not see like full CeeDee Lamb numbers on the first week or two, just because he has missed all of camp.
Yep.
But yeah, good for them getting this done. And CD, like I said, he's without a doubt the top 3 at his position. As this number say, top 2, because Justin Jefferson, I think he's got a 4-year, $140 million. So,
Yeah.
which I think we understand. I think we've all talked about Justin Jefferson just a titch above CeeDee Lamb, we'd say, but that's it, just a titch,
Yeah.
So I love that for the Cowboys and love that for CeeDee Lamb and love that for my fantasy team, baby.
Well, I definitely think it's the Cowboys had to re-sign him, man. They had to, you know what I mean? And then the other side of that too is Jamar Chase is also looking for a contract, and they've been quiet, really quiet about it all off season. He hasn't posted about anything. The Bengals haven't really said anything other than the owner saying that we're not giving out contracts 2 years before your contract is up. Because Jamar Chase still has 2 years on his contract. So maybe next season the Bengals might look at doing it, but I don't know. But it's I think it's definitely a good signing for the Cowboys. I never saw them letting CD go. I think that was the biggest signing that they could have made. And then I feel like you could do Micah or Dak, but that's just my opinion.
Just Micah. Thank you very much.
Micah. Well, let me talk to you guys about what Jerry Jones thinks about it all. Because, yeah, he didn't just sign him. He came out, and maybe this was directed at you, Feisty. Maybe he heard what you had to say about him. And so let me just read this quote from him. I've done it all, so I have an inordinate amount of confidence that real quote from Jerry Jones, if anybody can figure out how to get this shit done, I can figure out how to get it done. I've been there every which way from Sunday and busted my ass a bunch. There's nobody living that could out cutting and shooting that can't give you a bunch of times they busted their ass. So hell no, there's nobody that could fucking come in here and do all the contracts and be a better GM than I can.
If that's not a suck my own dick comment right there.
Hold on. We got to give Kyle one of these for that performance. And then we got to give Jerry Jones one of these ones because I could definitely do better.
Plus, here's more. Plus, I'm where the buck stops. When it fucks up, I gotta cover it. There's nobody else that can do it. So Jerry Jones, he wasn't a fan of what you had to say. Apparently, Feisty.
Dude.
He came out, and I guess a lot of Cowboys fans agree with you. So he's done hearing it.
Well, it's just so frustrating because you look at how this organization is been built, how much they had the success that they've had back in the day before I was even born. And then you look at the success they're having now. They're winning games, they're selling out, whatever, blah blah blah. They have such a loyal fans, but it's so hard to see every year get a first round exit for the last 3 or 4 years. Like it just becomes it's frustrating. And I think that Jerry Jones either needs to step aside and just be an owner or let somebody else run it. And now him saying this, it's almost like nobody else's point of view, nobody else's opinion matters, only mine matters. And like Wesley said, it's almost like I'm the best, I'm the only one that can do it, I've done it. Bro, get your old man Brandon looking ass out of here, bro. I'm sick of it.
Well, I don't know that that quote shows me that he doesn't care. He's gonna be there. Like I said, I think he'll die before he will.
Hey, I will say though, making moves a week before the or before the season starts. I mean, if that's not a Jerry Jones thing to do, because he also made another signing. That running back room gets an addition. It's not just going to be Zeke there anymore. Zeke and Douche Vaughn, the 5'4" running back. He goes out into free agency and he picks up Dalvin Cook.
Whoa. Love that.
Homer.
I don't, because I drafted Zeke thinking he would be the only guy there in Dallas.
Hey, I'll trade you Dalvin Cook if you want him.
No, I'm good. He'll be injured. He'll be injured
Me
by week
too.
5.
I don't know why
I
I
think he
picked him
picked
up.
Alvin Cook up like 2 minutes after that signing was announced.
Yeah. I picked him up in
Him and
online
Zeke
leagues.
getting a combined 2.7 points on your fantasy bench is going to be electric this season.
Hey, 2.5, 2.7 can make a difference, win or lose, bro.
Yeah.
So
Some say that's all you need to get the job done.
yeah.
Hey, boys. Hey,
Is that
boys.
experience or what?
Hey, boys. All right.
Wait, let's stop talking about sports. I'm interested in Kyle's segment right now.
Some might say that's all I have to say.
You would be interested in Kyle's segment right now. All right. Anyways, there was another big signing that just happened. The drama of this situation is finally over.
Finally.
We don't have to talk about Brandon Ayuk every week now. He finally agrees to a 4-year, $120 million contract with $76 million of that guaranteed with the 49ers. So finally get the drama out of the way. There's no more trade rumors. There's no more the contracts aren't working out. The 49ers are done talking with him, all this stuff.
He's going to the Patriots. He's going to the Steelers. He's going to the Browns. He's
never going to the Patriots. He said no to them.
The rumor for a week. But you know what the funny thing? A lot of people are like starting this rumor that this was all just a ploy so that he didn't have to go to training camp, so that he could just sit out, because they said that the Niners offered him this contract back in like the beginning of camp or something, like months ago. Like the same exact contract, just because training camp's hard and he doesn't want to work hard is kind of like the deal.
The problem is that he gets fined for sitting out of training camp. He gets fined game checks for sitting out of games. And so I think that's why he finally decided to make the contract, because I think the 49ers played the end of this offseason pretty well with Brandon Ayuk, with all the trade rumor talk and all that stuff. I heard somebody talking about, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about how the Steelers would make their final trade offer, a week before this week, when the NFL has a break right before the season and the players go home for 3 or 4 days and stuff like that. And then the 49ers would be smart to offer this contract right before that happened.
Yeah.
So that way it'd be hard for any other team to want to trade for him at that point, because then he'd be coming into a season where he wouldn't be playing, really for the first couple of games as he studied the playbook and stuff like that. So I think the 49ers played that contract pretty well.
I think they screwed themselves, to be honest with you, because now that's another big contract that they have under their belt, and they've paid all their big boys, all their big heads that they needed to pay. Are they going to be able to pay Brock?
Yeah, but except for one, they haven't paid yet Trent Williams, who I think is more important actually than Ayuk, that he's still holding out and hasn't got his new contract yet.
But do they even have room for it is the question now.
They have room for Trent. Plus Trent Williams is... the problem is that Trent Williams is 35 years old. So how long of a contract is he going to get? You still have 3 seasons, or 2 seasons with Brock Purdy's rookie contract.
Yeah, but
so you can play it. You can play it to where they, don't have to sign Brock Purdy. And I mean, it kind of seems like Brock Purdy's a team player anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to come in asking for a big, massive contract. I really don't think he cares about the money like that.
Yeah.
I think he's going to play it more like a Patrick Mahomes or a Tom Brady contract, where it's more team friendly. And then the 49ers can go out and sign, because they still got to sign. I mean, they signed CMC, they signed Brandon Ayuk. They still signed Trent Williams for a 1 to 2 year deal, and then they still got to sign all their players on defense too.
Yeah. Well, Bosa's got, I think he's re-signed a year or 2 ago.
Yeah, but I mean, you got Fred Warner, you got Armstead, you got all the guys in the secondary. You know,
it'll be interesting. I think they might end up having to move some people once Purdy's contract's up, because I mean, like, I think he will be, like, he's not going to be, the top. I don't know. You never know. I think he's still going to command some
Brock
good
Purdy
money.
ain't good.
Oh, back on this all year again.
yeah.
But
Let me. I could go off on how I
Hey,
think Brock.
hey,
Purdy's
hold
gonna
on,
be
one more. Brock Purdy ain't good.
Yeah,
but I
he
think
ain't.
they're gonna have to move somebody. Maybe Debo. Maybe Ayuk. Maybe somebody on the defense or something like that. I think there's just too many top paid guys, and there's only so much you can pay them. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how that all works out.
Well, and I think the interesting part too to like mention is they've paid all their offensive guys like you guys said, but you still got a whole team to build around, right? Like you can't just pay all your top 5 guys and then just call it good. You still like so they're probably going to have to take a big, penalties and go over cap or whatever it is to get those other
Build
deals
a team
done.
like a Saints.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
easier. Uh-oh. No. Not the Saints. Don't say it. Jacobs is gonna mention one guy on the Saints team. Don't do it.
Think about who you're talking
He ain't good either. That's what Jacobs will say.
about.
Um, but it's easy to take a team. I will say I have to put this in there. It was itching. It's easy to be team friendly when you don't have to do anything and your offense is so stacked.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Brock Birdie ain't good.
He's not.
Well, you know who is good, and Wesley, you mentioned him earlier, Jamar Chase. So to kind of like talk about that whole saga, so he came back on the field and was practicing, like about a week ago or something,
Didn't he show up
and
late?
that was before. So he's back on the field, and then reporters are asking him or asking his coach, like, so hey, we saw Jamar on the field. Does that mean we feel confident about him playing week 1? And Zach Taylor was like, yep, he's going to practice all week, and then he will play.
Hmm.
And then after, it was the day after he said that, that's when Jamar showed up late to practice
Right.
in street clothes and stuff. But I guess he was still wearing like Bengals attire, but it's probably, the Bengals team, or not Bengals team, Jamar Chase and his team are not super appreciative of those comments, when they're trying to
Right.
get the deal done. So then Zach Taylor has to come out the next day and say, well, looks like I spoke too soon. Which, not a great look for the Bengals, which I know, Wes, you're probably excited to see when the Bengals aren't looking very good.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the Bengals haven't really looked good other than their one Super Bowl run. So,
No, your team to hate on is the Browns. Change that right now, dude.
no, I hate
It's
the
anybody
Bengals.
in the
I
AFC
honestly,
North.
me and Kyle have talked about this before. I hate the Bengals second most. I hate the Ravens the most.
Oh,
The Bengals the second most. The Browns are
Myles
just
Garrett.
such dog shit that I don't give a shit about them. You know what I
It's
mean?
like the Jets.
Except Myles Garrett.
You're just trying to push all my fucking hot buttons today,
I
aren't
am.
you?
Oh man.
No, I definitely. Shut up. It's my turn.
I can't believe I wasn't the one that was told to shut up. Wow, Price, that's something.
But no, I think that this Jamar Chase thing, like I was saying earlier, I mean, he's looking for a contract two years before his contract's over, and I mean, they could play it like Bill said that he played it with the players on the Patriots, where he would restructure that last year and give them more money in their fourth year playing, and then or third or fourth year playing on their rookie contracts, so that way they could get a little more money. But I don't think that Jamar Chase is looking for that. I think he's looking for that big money, because we all know that I think Jamar Chase is the top 3 wide receiver in the league. And so, I mean, he's going to get paid, if not, third most, he might get paid a little bit more than CD. You know what I mean? And that's definitely, it's definitely a thought, so I think that players asking for new contracts 2 years before their contract is up is bullshit. But I mean, that's just me.
It just becomes a game of how much more can you get. So, and everybody wants to. We talked about this. Like me and Jacobs always talk about it. Like everybody wants to reset the market at every position. Everybody wants to reset the market. So I agree. I think Jamar Chase is a top 3 wide receiver. I don't know if I would offer, because we said this about CD Lamb, right? When he was getting, we were like, I don't know if I would offer him Justin Jefferson money. And it's the same thing now. It's like, I don't know if I would offer Jamar Chase CD Lamb, maybe something just right below him. Um, but at the same
Right
time, I'm
around
not a
there,
big
yeah.
fan of players just not um, showing up to practices, sitting out. Like we've all been big
Yeah.
advocate for that. So it'd be
Well, and I
interesting
think
to see what
another thing
happens.
Bill said too was that, if he started renegotiating deals with 2 years left, he'd have a whole line of people that he's going to have to start doing, which is kind of what you're seeing is that
Yeah,
more and more players with 2 years left on their deal, and it's like just kind of getting out of hand.
yeah,
So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like that's the thing, Jamar is you're gonna get your money.
yep,
Like I the Bengals are franchise tagging T. Higgins and stuff like that, and that makes more sense. But the Bengals would be the stupidest franchise to sit there and play that game. Like you're gonna get paid, just
Wouldn't put it past them though.
like. Of course you wouldn't.
he did tell me to shut up so he could talk about that segment.
I've hated the Bengals ever since Vontez Burfict and Pac-Man Jones played on that team.
Dang.
I hate and then the Bengals, like what made me hate the Bengals the most is when they lost that playoff game to the Steelers after Vontez Burfict basically ended and killed Antonio Brown.
Mentally killed Antonio Brown.
Yeah. And then after the Bengals lost that game, the Bengals fans were throwing trash at the Bengals players. It's just it's a trash organization, I think.
Poverty franchise.
Well, let's talk about another property. Trash franchise.
You can't
Nailed
talk
that
shit.
one.
Can't talk shit when you can't say the word, man. Come
Yeah,
on
I
now.
hear that a lot, actually. Anyways, English not very good. Let's talk about franchise. That's trash, and that will be the Steelers, the one that he's rooting for apparently. And to know that you hate the Bengals, I'm just gonna go get a Jamar Chase jersey and wear it in front of you all the time.
Because
So,
he's better than CD Lamb.
Yeah,
uh,
exactly.
Russell Wilson, boys.
Ah.
Let's talk about somebody else for once. Russell Wilson officially has been named QB1. So after a long kind of like who's gonna be the quarterback, who are they gonna pick? Justin Fields making a case for it, saying comments out loud that he should. It's what we talked about last week. We were all like, yeah, start Russell Wilson, see what he can get you. He's on the downslope. And if he's booty cheeks, then obviously you go with the younger upside guy. And it's official, boys. QB1, that's trash, is going to a trash organization. So, Wes, talk to me, my boy.
I swear he just tries to find any little tiny thing to talk trash on. Because his organization
Talk
just
to me, my boy.
but no, I mean this is no surprise for me. I mean even after they picked up Justin Fields in that trade, they had already signed Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so this was no surprise to me. I could see this happening the whole offseason. Russell Wilson was definitely going to be QB1. I mean, Mike Tomlin's looking for a guy that's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to keep it safe. Russell Wilson was 7th in the league last year for the least amount of turnovers, interceptions, fumbles, whatever you that may have you. And that's basically what Mike Tomlin's plan is this year. I think is win games from defense and running game, and that's the Steelers' way. I mean, and everybody up until Big Ben, was just a really good game manager. They never really asked the quarterback to go out and win a game. They wanted the running game. They wanted the defense. It's just always been the Steelers' way.
Yeah, and that's you hit it on the head. Just don't lose the game. That's all we need, and that's where Justin Fields just not quite there. Where he's the guy that goes and tries to win and then ends up maybe losing some games and stuff. And that's just not what the Steelers need. You're going to have that defense that's just going to be locked in. You got the running game. You got both running backs. You'll have to see, about the offensive line and stuff. Just don't lose the game is pretty much all they need. And I think a lot of people, like you said, it wasn't really a quarterback competition Like Russell Wilson was going to be the guy the whole time. And hey, like if I said, even if he is booty cheeks and stuff, you're paying him $1 million. So if you do need to put him on the bench, it's not like it's going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, looks like another 9-7 season coming up for the Steelers. Perfect
Got
manager
him.
football.
I think that you definitely have a better chance with Russell Wilson. And what's wrong with Justin Fields just developing? Like Russell, we give Russell Wilson like shit all the time, but Russell Wilson was good at Seattle, right? And
I
so
think he
if you
was good
can,
in Denver too.
if
I mean, obviously he wasn't like what he was in Seattle, but
right,
I think he was definitely still a good quarterback in Denver.
but and you, what's wrong with just learning from him? You know, Justin Fields could take a year of basically becoming a rookie again and just develop under Russell Wilson. And if Russell Wilson doesn't work out, which I think it won't, like all honesty, I think it won't, then it's Justin Fields' team. That's just how to put it, you know. And I like Justin Fields, I like Russell Wilson, but your time will come. Russell Wilson will end up doing something. Just gotta wait it out and see what happens.
We'll see. I think Russell might make it the whole season. Like you said, as long as he doesn't turn that ball over, that's all the team might need. So,
Yeah.
But I definitely don't think that they'll give him a contract after this season.
yeah, you could probably find someone else.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
they might give
Who it kind of
Justin
opens
Fields.
up.
They might give Justin Fields a contract, but they're definitely not going to give Russell a contract.
Yeah. Well, enough talking about a poverty franchise. Let's move on to
That's the word.
the Patriots, New England Patriots. So let's talk about because they're not poverty anymore. So another QB battle to talk about, which our Gerard Mayo, man, he's on something that's definitely different than Bill. He is very interactive with the media and almost kind of like playing with them, I feel like. Because just reading a couple quotes, he goes, Drake has outplayed Jacoby, but the decision on the team's starting quarterback goes beyond that. So he outplayed Jacoby, but then he also said that Drake is our second best quarterback. And I'm just like, what are you trying to do? Like, are you just trying to mess with everybody, not let anybody know? But I think that what he's saying in that first quote, where the decision on this team starting QB goes beyond that, I think that because that's what happened is Drake May actually played really well in camp. Really impressed, made really great throws. There was one that was taken out because our offensive line is just so booty cheeks, and he was freaking lined up wrong for like the fifth time, our left tackle, but he rolled out to the left off his back foot through like a 50-yard touchdown or something, like just things you haven't really seen, especially for a while in New England. But the thing is, I think on the team's the decision on the team starting quarterback going beyond just Drake playing better is what I've been talking about. The fact that he is a rookie, the fact that preseason is different than the regular season, you're going to see a lot of different speed. And it seems like they're sticking to the plan because even though Jacoby got hurt in the final preseason game, he kind of hurt his shoulder. Jacoby was officially named the starter for week 1.
Yeah.
So I think what this is saying is that they're sticking to the plan. They're sticking to the plan. We're at least going to sit Drake at least for a little bit. And like you guys have heard me say a bunch of times, I would like for him to sit the whole season. I think that this season for the Patriots really doesn't matter. We're not going to go out and win a playoff game. We're not going to go make the playoffs, win the division, anything like that. So why not just use it to whatever happens, however Jacoby plays, like let him sit. And then maybe, I don't know, maybe the last couple of games you can let Drake get in there and kind of get his feet wet and stuff, just like they did with Patrick Mahomes and stuff. So, and then before I finish out, Drake May, he said he had no regrets on how the quarterback competition played out. Which I like from him because I didn't like how Gerard Mayo said that Drake May was our second best quarterback. Like, why do you come out and publicly say that about your, rookie quarterback? I feel like that's not really great for the confidence, but I think so a couple of quotes is Drake May said he wouldn't say he's disappointed. Obviously he wants to play, but he understands the situation. So love that. And then Jacoby had this to say about him. Dating back to when he first got here to where he is now, light years different. He's going to be a great quarterback in this league.
That's awesome.
So I think that's all kind of perfect. Like what I've been saying to you guys forever is that's the kind of stuff I want to hear from him. and everybody about him. So love the decision from the Patriots to stick with the plan, stick with Jacoby, because I feel like that's what messed up is Mac Jones clearly outplayed Cam Newton when they had a battle, and and obviously Cam Newton wasn't good anymore, but
Yeah, he's on
I
his
think
way out.
he just needs some time. You just got to get used to the league. It's a lot different than college. So love this.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that Jacoby Brissett needed to be the starter. I like we've said multiple times on this podcast. The rookie quarterbacks coming in and starting right away, unless you're a phenom, you know what I mean, and you you're gonna have to sit a season. Like I honestly like the Washington Commanders starting
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels. Starting Jaden Daniels, that's going to destroy his confidence. You know what I mean? It's almost like what the Bears did to Justin Fields. It's like what they're doing to it's Bryce Young, right? The guy
Yeah.
in
Yep.
Carolina. It's the same thing.
Well,
You
yeah,
know what I
because they
mean?
don't have an offensive line really still, right? And their running game is,
And their
I know they got
receivers.
Eckler, but
It's just there's just nothing there to
yeah,
help him. You know what
yep,
I mean? Especially being a rookie quarterback in a league where like it's they get the fastest guys out of college. Like linebackers in the NFL are running 340s and stuff like that now, and defensive linemen are running 4.5s. Like it's insane how fast the NFL is compared to college, and making a rookie quarterback come in there and have to make a decision like that so fast is insane.
right. And
I
that's the
think
thing too is our offensive line is absolutely terrible. Like we haven't really gotten that much better. We re-signed a couple of guys, like our center and right guard will probably be good, but other than that, it's all question marks. So why do you want to put Drake May? Why would you want to put Drake May behind
yeah,
that? You know what I mean? And just
right.
let the kid just die out there. Like that's why you have Jacoby Brissett is he's the one that's going to take those hits and he's going to be able to read the game a little bit quicker. So
You think that they put him in mid-season?
yeah, I'm thinking that's kind of like the
That's what I'm
vibes I'm
thinking.
feeling. He
Yeah,
might, I don't know, be like 5 to 8 weeks. I hope it's more, 12 to 14 is
yeah.
what I would like at least. But yeah, I think it seems like they will, but we'll have to see how they
And
end up.
Jacoby Brissett is the kind of quarterback you want to have as a secondary quarterback anyway. And when you need him to come in, he's performed really well. He played for the Browns last year, right?
2 years ago.
2 years ago, I remember that he was not bad over there either. So, it doesn't matter. Like you said, this year does not matter for the Patriots. So, what's the point of getting your quarterback killed? I think Jaden Daniels is a little bit different. I think I would have started him as my franchise quarterback just because he's proven to be that elite quarterback. Where
Has he though?
he was
I mean, he
good
hasn't.
at
Jaden
LSU.
Daniels.
It was
Yeah,
I
very good.
get that. I
Well, and
get
Drake
that, but
May
I
he
was
mean,
won
good
it's
at
still.
Heisman.
UNC.
I get that, but it's still the NFL is a different game.
Yeah,
You
but
know what I
that's
mean?
why he's the number one pick, or sorry,
Number two.
number two
Number two
pick.
pick, but that's the thing too,
Um,
though. Like he's gonna go out there and it's gonna destroy his confidence because the Washington Commanders are
yeah,
so
booty
trash.
cheeks. Yeah,
You know
I
what I mean?
think
He could
if
he could be the best quarterback he can be, but that's the problem is that the game is so fast when you get to the NFL, and they disguise defenses
yeah,
to specifically aim at messing up Jaden
well,
Daniels. I just don't think that it's
who
gonna
did
happen.
they have to start is the question. I think where the Patriots have Jacoby Brissett, and the Commanders are all in on Jaden Daniels,
Or
and
is
I
that
get.
not as good of a plan? Because that's the Patriots came in with that plan, and did the Commanders not?
I don't think they had a plan. I think they only had one plan. They didn't have a B, like a backup plan. They only had an A plan, and it was just get Jaden Daniels and start him. But I
I
get what
just
you
think
guys are
I
saying.
just think that Jaden
Oh,
Daniels
they
is going
got
to
your boy
turn into
Marcus
the.
Mariota.
I think that Jaden Daniels is just going to turn into Bryce Young. That's what I
Yeah,
think is going to happen.
I could see that. I could definitely see that. I think, like I said, I definitely see that comparison between the two because he doesn't have really good wide receivers, and he doesn't have. I mean, Brian Robinson, I think, is his running back. He's pretty good. Now I know they have Eckler, but Eckler is on his
Washed.
downhill, and their old line is trash. So I could definitely see the comparison of them turning him into like a
Bryce
into
Young.
the Panthers and Bryson, and so it's just I think he has a better chance, but I definitely can see that, and I think the Patriots are doing it right. I just don't think the Commanders had any other plan besides starting Jaden Daniels. Yeah, they got Marcus Mariota, but Marcus Mariota has bounced around a lot now since the Titans freaking destroyed his confidence and destroyed his career. Basically, he's been to the Eagles. He's been on this
But I
team,
mean, we
that
can,
team, and so
and Mariota won the Heisman too. You know what I
he
mean? Like,
did.
there's, and
But
there's,
Mariota was good at the Titans when he started there. So like,
yeah, but the
and then they
Titans also,
destroyed
I
his
think, had a
career.
better team. The Titans had a way better team, I
I
think,
don't know if
than.
they. I don't know. I don't remember who he had on his team, to be honest with you. But I know that Mariota was a way better player than like Jaden Daniels or
Yeah, you're
Drake
just saying
May.
that because he played at Oregon.
No, no, he really was. I really like. I truly believe that. I'm not just saying that. I think that even Kyle, I think, would agree with me. Marcus Mariota from college to the pros, I think he was way better than what Jaden Daniels and Drake May is. But I get what you're saying, and I feel bad because I don't want that to happen to him.
No,
But
and I mean, you don't
ultimately,
want
who do
that to
they have?
happen. You don't want that to happen to anybody in the league. But the problem is like it's just going into it with such a shit organization. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
With no help around you, that'll destroy your confidence, and that's what's happened with Bryce Young.
Yep.
The only guy that I've seen that has done it is really Joe Burrow. He
CJ
came into
Stroud.
CJ Stroud, but
CJ
CJ
Stroud
Stroud
had
came
to,
into a really good. He
Which
came
is
into
kind
a
of
team that
like what
built the
Caleb.
team already for him.
I think, but that we didn't think that, going into the Texans,
yeah,
like we
because they
didn't think they
picked
were going to be
Dink.
that good, but they were. And
Yeah,
then,
but they picked great and they got good players, and we didn't think they were going to be good, but
Yeah.
they obviously were. And it's the same thing with Joe Burrow, right? They did not build the offensive line that has been trashed for years. And then what happens? Joe Burrow goes down with an ACL tear.
yeah,
He gets sacked 9 times in a Super Bowl. Like, that's just not heard of. You know what I mean?
right.
I think if you're a rookie quarterback, the only time that you can do good is if you get drafted into a
For
good
sure.
organization.
Like we might see with Caleb Williams. Like I think even though their offensive line isn't super great, I think it's probably improved, and they have
Well, yeah, and I think
insane wide receivers, good running backs, and a good
I
defense.
think
Yep.
Caleb Williams is like a CJ Stroud. They
Yeah,
built the team around him already, and they're good to go for the season.
right. And that's what would be awesome too. Is like I said, with the Patriots season not mattering, like if we can get a top 5 pick and get a top 5 tackle, like then now we're looking a lot better. If our wide receivers end up being, what they could be, like because we got a couple of them in the draft and everything. If we can build that team up and then get a tackle, that missing piece, then going into next season, we might actually be ready to start competing. And then a couple years after that, you keep building on it. Patriots might be back. I know it might be just like a joke, but like seriously, like that's the pieces that you need. And where you throw a quarterback into a situation with a lot of missing pieces, which I think is what you're saying, Wesley, that's where like that plan doesn't always work out as well.
For
I think
sure.
even Brady and Belichick have always said, like Belichick said that Brady needed to, sit in the league. He was not ready when he came in on. He was just a 6th round pick, So like, I think it mostly works out. So
Anyways, yeah, we could definitely go back and forth on this, and we always have a long segment for the Patriots news. I don't know why,
hey,
but
we talked about the
I'm
Commanders there
glad.
forever. I don't know why.
I'm glad. I'm glad that the Drake May drama is done and we can stop talking about it. But let's talk about an organization that's all in this year. The Dolphins. They have extended uh Mike Daniel to a extension through
Like
2028.
McDaniel.
Sorry, Mike McDaniel. I missed the McDaniel. Mike Mike
Mike
Daniel.
Daniel.
Mc McDaddy. As they call him now with the
That new hair.
freaking perm hair.
Mhm.
They extended him through 2028 season, so they got another 3 to 4 years left on him. I love this. I'm a big fan of the Dolphins. I think that they're gonna do really well. I've always been a big fan of Tua.
Until they
So
play in the
this,
cold.
except that, yeah, but that's not gonna happen this year. The
I'm gonna
script
stay
is
in
already
Miami.
written.
No, I love Mike McDaniel. Great move, even though he is playing for the Dolphins. coaching for the Dolphins.
What's corrected for what?
You fuck the Dolphins. But no, I think he's a great coach. He's an insane mind. I think that they're going to need some help on the defensive side again. Like, I think they just fired their defensive coordinator, so now they're having like their third defensive coordinator in the last 3 years, I think. So I think if they really want to get over the hump, they're going to have to, like, you got the offensive side of the ball figured out. You know what I mean? You got Tua, you got Tyreek, you got Jalen Waddle, you got those two running backs that run, 4-2-4s or whatever that it is. Like, they got everything on offense they could need.
Yeah.
But that defense and what can get you over the hump. Now, I like Mike McDaniel. I think it's good that he's staying there. What's going to change though? Like, what's going to get them, like I said, over the hump? I don't see anything that's really happened for the Dolphins to kind of help with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this Mike McDaniel signing is a good one because he's established a culture in Miami, and he's definitely after Brian Flores. I mean, we all know kind of how Brian Flores went now. So, and Brian Flores got that team to a winning side of their schedule, and now they've got Mike McDaniel, who, I mean, I think is really definitely one of the better coaches in the league. And he's definitely established that, and like I said, established the culture in Miami. But yeah, like you're right with the defensive side of the ball. Mike McDaniel is from the Shanahan tree.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely offensive minded, and we've seen that. I mean, the Miami Dolphins offense is insane, especially, I mean, they have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and like you said, those two really good running backs back there, fast guys. The offense is just fast in general, but
yeah.
I think he's done a really good job there in Miami. He deserves to have this contract extension. Now, like you said, if they could just figure out that defensive coordinator and get that defense on track, I think they'll have a good chance of. I don't even think that I don't know. I just haven't seen much from the Bills this year, but I mean, I think Miami definitely has a good chance of winning the division this year.
I think everybody in the AFC East is just right there for the. You could argue any of those teams could win the division. Oh, I forgot. Sorry, I forgot the Patriots.
You forgot the Patriots. That's the
right. Anybody else?
So we've got some injuries to start off the season this year, boys.
Big names.
Some pretty big names on this list too. So this list is called the physically unable to perform, and they will miss at least the first 4 games of the season. We'll start off with Nick Chubb. Obviously coming off of that horrendous knee that happened last season. OBJ, I don't know exactly what's wrong with OBJ. You guys got that one?
MCL or MCA? It was something happened in the.
He hasn't practiced all camp or anything. Yeah, it's
coming from that injury that he suffered in the Super Bowl.
And then you got TJ Hawkinson. You got the rookie running back of the Panthers, Jonathan Brooks, and then Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, our number 1. That's a lot of big names. That's gonna be tough for those teams. I think we knew about Nick Chubb. I think we knew he wasn't going to be able to make it. TJ Hawkinson, it's going to be tough for the Vikings. He's that safety net, So, and then I know everybody was excited to see Jonathan Brooks. He came from Texas, right? He was the running back from Texas.
Yeah, he was the big name running back, the only one really in the
last draft.
Cowboys.
Yep. But you got Zeke and Dalvin Cook, so even better. And Dalvin Cook's jacked, so that means you know what that means.
What does that mean?
Zeke's looking real zesty with Dak. Did you see that clip, by the way?
Yeah.
It became warm up. So you fought. No.
At the reunion, who we introduced. Yeah.
Yeah, some big names. And yeah, I'm kind of sad about Kendrick Bourne. I think he's definitely our number 1, and he could be a really good guy to have out there for the rookies. But maybe it'll be kind of good for us. Maybe it's good to have him on the sideline and let those rookies kind of learn it, and then he can, come back and give them pointers here and there. OBJ didn't matter. Like I said, dude's washed. The guy's over, so it doesn't even matter
you
for that.
Literally hate OBJ, dude. I don't know why you hate him so much.
I don't hate him, but he's just not. He's like Brock Purdy, buddy.
Well, I think
why was it?
I think OBJ's been washed for a while now. So
I don't know why you guys hate him. I like OBJ, and I'm rooting for him. I hope that he has a great
Well,
season
yeah,
here
I'm
with the
saying I don't
Dolphins.
want him to like stay injured or anything
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
no, 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 I'm not that, but I'm just saying, I think he's a great player still. I think he can play the slot and
Oh,
not
was
be the
that the
number one
joke
or
that I
two
was
guy.
talking about? He was gonna get like five. He was gonna have 10 receptions for like 200 yards or something on the season. I think that's what I was talking to you about. We were talking a little bit pre-show, like a
Uh,
joke about that, about them.
oh yeah, I don't. I thought it
But
was
anyways,
Zeke, but yeah, I mean, it's yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how he works with that. Jalen Waddle and um, Mr. Tyreek, the best player in the NFL, Mr. Tyreek Hill, according to the professional analytics guys, and then
the
T.J.
players.
Hawkins, like you said, I think it's gonna be such a big hit for them. But who knows who's even playing quarterback there? It's not.
Sam Darnold, baby.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway, so it's gonna be interesting. I think that they will have a big hit on that, and then Jonathan Brooks. I wanted him, but I didn't. We didn't end up getting him, obviously. So it's gonna be interesting to see what he does once he comes back from that injury, and then Kendrick Bourne, like you said, I think it's probably good for him to sit the sideline, is just to kind of see to let the rookie shine a little bit and give him pointers here and there, and then at the same time, once he comes in, get ready to go out. Go
Yeah.
on a bang. So.
Well, and then not even on the pup list, another big kind of name. It's depleting that running back room for Green Bay. AJ Dillon, season-ending IR deal or injury, so he won't even play for the rest of the season, leaving just Josh Jacobs in that backfield, which freaking wanted in our fantasy drafts, couldn't get him. But yeah, that's gonna be kind of tough for Green Bay there.
Yeah, I mean that AJ Dillon's such a big piece to that offense. I just think that it's definitely a big loss. But that offense is so young and it's extremely good. So I don't think that they'll really take a step back. Josh
Yeah,
Jacobs, I think, is still a really good running back.
Oh yeah, I think he's
So
underrated. Like I think what I wonder what round he went in our draft, but he was there in like the 30s and projections and stuff. I
yeah.
think he's gonna be a monster for
I
Green
totally
Bay.
forgot about him, to be honest with you guys. I wasn't even paying attention to him when the draft came. So whoever ended up getting him, I think it was Hunter.
Might
Whoever
have
ended
been,
up getting him, that was a steal because now he's the only running
yeah,
back there. So
especially with
they're just
this.
gonna give him the load. So yeah,
Yeah.
it sucks for AJ Dillon. I'm not the biggest Green Bay fan, but at the same time,
Oh yeah,
good
because
for
they
them.
freaking
It
kicked
was a catch.
ass last year.
It was a catch,
Oh, and that, yeah.
and then the field goal. I
Well,
can name
boys,
more.
I have some bad news. The Chiefs got even better. Even better.
Did they now?
They cut Kadarius Tony. Two-time Super Bowl champion Kadarius Tony is no longer a member of the Chiefs or any team right now. I'm sure he'll probably land somewhere, but that's kind of crazy.
Back with the
I mean, dude,
Giants.
just talk about a kind of waste of talent. Because wasn't he a first-round pick for the Giants?
I think he
yes.
was, yeah.
Yeah, and dude, just I feel like he just doesn't have like his head on, like his head in the game. Like he's just not
It's
like
almost like he doesn't
committed.
care.
Yeah,
Well, I know
exactly.
that because he got injured when he played for the Giants. I think he was he no that
Yeah,
was
he was injured quite a bit.
Sterling Shepard, but Sterling Shepard tore his ACL
Oh
at
yeah,
MetLife. But the Kadarius Tony was supposed to be their big name guy that they were supposed to have, and then I think he got injured a few times, and then it just seems like he's kind of scared to catch the ball now, scared to get
Yeah.
hit. You know what I mean? And that sticks with you. It's a mental problem.
Yep.
And when you're scared to get hit, you can't be out there on the field, especially as a wide receiver, because they
yeah,
have to make the catch and then get hit instantly some of the times.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's definitely scared. He's playing scared. It's almost like that Tua thing that we talked about last week, where the coach's confidence tore him up and he just was playing scared all the time. Not that the coach did anything to Tony, but he just, like I said, I think he's just scared. He just almost doesn't seem like he cares when he's out
yeah.
there, and the work ethic isn't there. And so it's kind of might be either an out for him or a team that's desperate for a receiver might end up getting him. But I don't know how
Yeah,
much you're gonna
I
get.
think he can make a practice squad for sure or something. Like he can make it the bottom, third, fourth receiver on a team, but
Yeah,
he's definitely not going to be like a big guy going forward unless he kind of gets it together. I do have some hope for the Chiefs. They did actually end up getting a little worse. Juju Smith-Schuster re-signed with the Kansas City Chiefs.
Juju, baby.
On probably a veteran min. I didn't see the logistics, but probably a vet min 1-year deal.
Nice.
So sorry, Wes. I know we both loved him so much, but looks like he's not going to be a Patriot or a Steeler anymore. So.
I remember there was rumors about the Steelers maybe re-signing him too, and you're giving me so much shit.
Hey, he might actually have been good again because George Pickens is the number one, so he could have slipped back into his number 2 role.
George Pickens is no Antonio Brown.
Yeah, not Antonio Brown, but
it's pretty easy to be the number 2 receiver if you got Antonio Brown on the other side taking 4 defenders with him every play.
That is true. Didn't he win a Super Bowl with the Chiefs?
He did,
yes.
Yeah, against the Eagles. Another Super Bowl champion.
Anybody can win a Super Bowl nowadays with Patrick Mahomes.
He was the one that drew that really good holding penalty on Bradbury. Remember that? The tiniest little jersey grab that gave them the first down, ended the game. That was Juju. It was because he's a threat.
He's definitely dancing on that field. So I don't know. Maybe Patrick Mahomes can make anybody look good. So this will be interesting to see how it ends up being.
NFL.
Huh?
It's because he's the best player in the NFL.
Nope, that's not what the professional analytics guy said, dude.
It was the players. It was the players. It was voted on by the players.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, let's move on to another franchise that I hate, and it's the 49ers. So, 49ers first round pick, wide receiver. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm not even gonna lie. Ricky
Pearsall.
Oh,
I wanted to hear him try it. Man.
Well, it was kind of a scary situation, so I didn't know if Feist can pronounce that name was the right time.
No, so he was shot in the chest from an attempted robbery. He is in a serious condition, but he is stable. And that's scary. Like that's just we talk a lot about players this year that have been getting into like trouble or getting shot or something unfortunate happening. This just kind of adds on to that. It's been a weird off season where we're like so many bad news has been coming out, and so I hope that he makes it through, and I hope that I pray for him and his family that they make it through and that he is able to make a comeback. I really even though I hate the 49ers, you never want anything like this for any kind of franchise or any player. So I pray for him. I hope
that's scary. Getting shot in the chest too, and being able to survive that, and being in stable condition is good. I know it's still serious, so it's not like he's okay quite yet, but definitely hope that he will be, and hope him a speedy recovery. And maybe obviously just hope that he's healthy, but maybe get back on the field too. That would be awesome.
Big pop off for him.
Yeah, no, it's always a scary situation when that happens, and it's just being in the wrong place at the wrong time type of thing, and especially it's and coming into your rookie season as well, like we talked about the whose rookie passed away. Oh, it's the Vikings.
The
Ravens.
The Vikings.
Or is it the Vikings?
It was the Vikings.
Their cornerback. Him
the
passing away. Yeah, and so it's just it sucks to see this kind of happen, especially right when you're about to start the biggest moment in your life. You know what I mean? The biggest section of your life. And it's just
definitely. Like I said, we would definitely wish him a speedy recovery and everything. So I'm excited though that football is back and that we are back, and it's gonna be so exciting. We made it through the off season somehow, some way. We found things to talk about every week, and we're in it. And like I said, this week we got a Thursday night game to open up the season. Kansas City, 3-point favorites, opening up at home versus the Ravens. So we still need to figure out our game for this year. But I'll give you guys I'll give you the money line. So you don't have to say like the Ravens or the Chiefs are going to win, but you can have those 3 points. So if you pick the Chiefs, you're saying they're going to beat them by more than 3. If you pick the Ravens, they're going to either lose by less than 3 or they're going to win. So we'll start with the AFC North compadre, I guess, who really loves the Ravens. Who are you going to pick there, Wesley?
Yeah, I don't want to say
it. He sunk into his chair a little bit.
I don't want to say it, but I think that the Ravens. I mean, I don't even have to go off the point favorite. Honestly, I think that the Ravens might take this one week one.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'm gonna count you to that. You're gonna have to just win the game. We'll have to figure it out. Feist, what do you got?
I am going with these guys.
Oh, the Ravens. I get
Let's go, baby. I'm a Lamar fan. You guys know I'm a big Lamar fan. I think that the hype is going to go to Kansas City and that the Ravens win this one as well.
I already know who Kyle's going to pick because he doesn't bet against him.
Well, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I've been talking about it all season. And Patrick Mahomes is the best player in the league. And at home in Arrowhead Stadium, I mean, come on, boys. With that being said, I have Lamar Jackson on my team, so Ravens.
Yeah,
on my fantasy team. Let's go.
Awesome.
Oh no.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna pick Ravens. I'm just gonna pick their points though. I'm gonna stay safer than you guys. I'm gonna take the points at least. But yeah, I got Lamar Jackson, so we're gonna stick with that. All right, boys. Hey, next week NFL's back. We'll see if all of our professional teams are 1-0 after this week. We'll see. Anyways, I'm just excited. Football's back. I'm excited. Our football Sundays are going to be back with the boys and the friends and everything. And yeah, so like we said, we're going to be moving. I think our drops to Thursday morning. Get you ready for Thursday night football. So can't record on Sundays, boys. We got 12 hours of football to watch. So sit there on the couch all day. That's why we're called your favorite couch potatoes. So, all righty. Make sure to check out all the episodes on YouTube and Spotify, and then always drop in some clips and social media stuff on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram. And we'll catch you next week talking about Week 1 NFL football on the couch. See ya.